Today, we're diving into a book called Psalms for Teachers by Dr. Katherine Stover. And what it does is pretty amazing. It offers an ancient toolkit for a very, very modern problem, that crushing mental and emotional weight that so many of us, especially educators, carry around every single day.
Right from the start, the book hits you with this powerful idea. It says that for a teacher, the real battle isn't just about managing a classroom full of students. Nope, it's about managing that invisible classroom inside your own head. That constant, nagging, critical inner voice. And this internal dialogue, what the author calls our self-talk, is just incredibly powerful. I mean, think about it for a second. A single negative thought, something like, I just can't handle this, can completely drain your energy for an entire morning. But on the flip side, a different thought can anchor you. It can strengthen your resolve. And that's absolutely crucial for anyone in a demanding job.
Now, the book argues this negative self-talk isn't just you being in a bad mood. It's a really destructive cycle. It kicks off with self-doubt, which then leads to fatigue, and that fatigue just fuels more discouragement, and then the cycle just starts all over again. I think anyone in a high-pressure job can really relate to this feeling.
So what's the solution here? Well, Dr. Stover suggests something pretty unique, using the Psalms as an ancient toolkit. She calls it a holy vocabulary for our self-talk. It's a way to find language that doesn't just ignore the hardship, but actually declares hope right in the middle of it.
And she doesn't just leave it at the idea. She gives us a really practical, repeatable method to do it. It's a 4-step framework. You start with a scripture anchor, you dive deep with a word study, you create a brand new self-talk declaration, and then you identify key principles of action. It's a way to turn this ancient text into a seriously modern tool for mental resilience.
All right, so let's see how this framework actually works in the real world. We'll start with the feeling I think we all know way too well: overwhelm. That feeling of being completely buried by the demands of your job. It's all about winning that internal battle.
The scripture anchor for this feeling comes from Psalm 61. Now, it's a plea, for sure, but it's also a course correction. The writer acknowledges that feeling of being overwhelmed, but immediately redirects their focus to something stronger, something more stable.
And this is where the word study becomes so cool. The original Hebrew word for overwhelmed is ataf. It literally means to be shrouded, to faint, or to feel like you are being buried under a heavy weight. It just goes to show how incredibly honest the Psalms are about the raw reality of these emotions. And this slide just captures the transformation perfectly. You shift from that destructive inner voice that's screaming, "I'm buried, I can't keep up," to a new constructive declaration. "Lead me to the rock. I am being led to higher ground." It's a really powerful cognitive shift. From this, the book gives us a super practical principle of action, what Dr. Stover calls the 24-hour pause rule. So when you're overwhelmed and you feel that pressure to react instantly to an email, a conflict, a decision, you intentionally just wait. This simple discipline can reduce impulsivity, improve your emotional regulation, and ultimately, it builds trust. And it all leads to this. This is the powerful, reframed self-talk declaration. This becomes the new script that you run in your mind, pulling you out of that feeling of being buried and anchoring you in strength and stability. Okay, so that's the internal battle. But what about when the fight is external? Well, the great thing is the framework also applies to navigating conflict with colleagues, parents, or really anyone else. For conflict, the anchor scripture is Psalm 37, and the themes here are crystal clear: patience, emotional control, and a command not to fret, which in Hebrew actually means to burn with anger. So the key principle here is what the book calls strategic patience. Now, this is not about being passive or being a pushover at all. It's an active choice to anchor yourself in something solid rather than getting swept up in the whirlwind of an argument. Here's a great example of how this plays out in education. Instead of getting stuck on these opposing positions, like the huge debate between guided reading and the science of reading, you use strategic patience to find the shared interest. What do both sides really truly want? Proficient, joyful readers. That right there becomes your common ground for moving forward. And the result is a completely new declaration for yourself. Instead of defaulting to defensiveness or anger, your inner voice now has a script of peace, patience, and prayer. This just fundamentally changes how you show up in any disagreement. But this isn't just about one person feeling a little bit better. The book makes this really powerful case that changing an individual's inner voice can create a tangible, collective ripple effect across an entire organization. Dr. Stover shows us this with a powerful story from her time as a principal. She took over a low-performing middle school, and she didn't focus on test prep. Instead, she focused on changing the culture, shifting the collective belief system of the entire staff and all the students. And the results? Well, they were just astounding. Before this cultural shift, the school's reading proficiency was hovering around 40%. After focusing on belief, on scholarly behaviors, and on literacy, that number skyrocketed to 89%. That's a 49 percentage point increase. It's an absolutely stunning turnaround that really proves the point. Real change didn't start with a new curriculum, it started with a new mindset. And this is the book's core argument in action. The internal work really matters. Changing the self-talk and beliefs of individuals, what psychologists call self-efficacy, can literally transform the collective culture and the effectiveness of an entire team. Ultimately, the book leaves us with this idea. Your inner voice isn't just background noise. It's the narrator of your life's story. It shapes your actions, your resilience, and your impact. So that leaves us with a final, very personal question. What story is yours telling?